Now, all right. Thank you for clicking on. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Wednesday means World Situation Report with Chris. Chris is going to be joining us just in a couple of minutes. No, Nancy, we don't do 20-minute. We don't do 20-minute openings. Just a couple of minutes to give people a chance to get here once we go live. But now, some 20-minute openings are absolutely killer and incredibly funny and fun to watch. Some openings get a little long and monotonous, in my opinion. Anyway, all that being said, Chris is going to join us. And first thing we're going to talk about is BRICS. BRICS. You saw it in the opening scroll there. And I'm just going to, before we get Chris on here, I'm just going to bring up the map and just give you an idea where these countries are at. Let's start with the B, Brazil, right down here in South America. We got Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, and then the massive country of Brazil, a one of, if not the strongest countries in South America. All right, we've got South Africa. Let's go to the S all the way to the end of the BRICS. Hold on. There we go. South Africa, one of the wealthiest and most powerful countries on the continent of Africa. The R, of course, is for Russia, right up here. The C is for China. The I is for India. So basically, you've got a country in Africa, you've got a country in South America, you've got a country in Central Asia, you got a country in Eastern Asia, you got a country in Eastern Europe. Some of the strongest countries on each continent lined up, allied, if you will, against the countries of NATO. And with that being said, let's bring Chris on. Chris, good evening. How are you? Hold on.
Have me back on the show again.
Hey, nice to have you, my man, as always. So BRICS, is it in my estimation, it's strengthening. Is that how you see it?
That most certainly is. That you're going to see that BRICS is going to keep growing. I think Saudi Arabia, Iran, a couple other countries. I think Jamaica. That this is just what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but Jamaica would probably look into joining BRICS.
Wow.
And they're, of course, you know, couple other countries um, also that are interested in joining BRICS. And I told you the whole premise of this is to collapse the American dollar,
Right.
right?
Right.
So our dollar will be pretty much the value of the U.S. dollar will be like nil globally. Okay, so and if this goes through, it seriously could happen. So people need to be aware of that.
Okay. All right. And at the same time, on the opposite side, is NATO showing cracks? That's what I'm seeing.
So and that's why everyone is going to BRICS. You see, it was either NATO or BRICS. And a lot of
Hmm.
times NATO didn't want certain countries in. Well, BRICS is now accepting all these countries that didn't want NATO. You see,
Yeah.
so since NATO didn't want them, well, I'll go to BRICS and we'll just push out the Americans and we'll push out NATO and we'll collapse the dollar. See, but no one ever thought about, hey, you know what? Oh, why don't we just become a conglomerate, right?
Right.
And push out the Americans and push
Vote
out
you
NATO.
vote the USA off the island, so to speak.
Pretty much, pretty much.
All right. I'm going to hop back here to the map for just a second because the next thing I wanted to touch on was that this is going to kind of tie in. The country of Ecuador, right down here on the equator, of course, Ecuador. Um, we're going to send U.S. troops in to battle or to confront or to try to stop or detour however you want to phrase it, the drug trade, basically, right? Cocaine, or
All
is
right.
this
So once again, those cartels and those are all armed non-state actors.
okay?
They're they're armed
Right.
gangs. That's it. And you see our success rate against fighting, armed non-state actors.
Okay,
We're-
that's where I was
we're-
heading with this. What kind of
right.
troops are we going to send in that are going to be successful? And the answer is none.
Well, you would really have to send in SF, Special Forces.
Yeah.
Let me be specific, Green Berets. Okay,
Okay.
because they're really the ones specialized in unconventional warfare and irregular warfare. When it comes to this type of problem, and knowing that you're gonna have the DEA. If they're gonna do it, DEA is gonna be involved. Because they're the big boys on block when it comes to drugs. So DEA is going to be involved, but I think it'll be more or less soft special operation forces and DEA combined, and of course Ecuador's military and police to take out the drug traffickers and slow down the cocaine trade. But to me, I really don't understand why this is such a problem now. This has been going on for like the longest time.
I was just about to ask, is this political because it's been going on for a long time?
Yeah, because why do it now? You see,
Um, Ecuador's got a presidential election coming up. We've got a presidential election coming up. It seems like it's a political thing and not really going to be something that is going to make any dent in the drug trade.
well, the drug trade is a business, okay, a very big business, and a lot of times for the drug trade, how can I phrase this? A lot of times we put people into power that can help us. All right, for example, Manuel Noriega,
Hmm.
right? We
You're right.
take a look at Manuel Noriega and how he was by far one of the largest drug traffickers in Latin America, but because he remember I talked about micro and macro thinking
Right.
last time. All right, so the micro thinking is this. All right, so he's a drug trafficker. He's putting all these drugs out to different countries. But the macro part is he helped us with our national security objectives. You see,
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the big picture.
He
He,
was
he
he was also a I mean, he was a military figure,
right,
uh,
right.
in his
He's a
country.
right, former general, right?
Mhm.
So the thing about it is the drug trade, depending how it affects the United States and how we want to play it. Okay, we can either let things go or we can clamp down on things. So if we're clamping down on this, there's a reason why. Okay,
Okay.
because there's tons of drugs just flowing freely across Latin America and South America.
So
Really,
why Ecuador
yeah.
is the
So there's, I
question that
mean,
we need to watch
right,
for.
exactly, and that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
So I want to
let's move.
apologize. Yeah, I want to apologize. I'm actually out of country and I'm outside right now. So if you hear
No
some
problem.
background noise, I'm just
No problem. We appreciate you giving us the time, man. Um,
yeah.
okay, let's move slightly north. Let's go back. Let's go up to Haiti. And
Uh huh.
the UN has officially sanctioned a Kenyan-led multinational effort to again fight the drug trade. But are 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 the gangs in Haiti, are they drug gangs, or are they is it about
Okay.
drugs in Haiti, or is it about territory?
Okay. So these are criminal gangs in Haiti, and criminal gangs
Okay.
are are really they're focused on economics. Okay,
Hmm.
it's for profit. So if it's for profit, then the things that they're really doing don't add up. You see what I'm saying? So them going around killing people unnecessarily, going to hospitals, killing
Yeah.
innocent babies and all that stuff. That's just not what um, criminal gangs do. Crips and Bloods don't go around doing that. They're in it for
Right.
profit. Okay,
Right.
so extortion. Look for extortion, robbery, um, just anything criminal that's going to help them make money. Think about
Yeah.
it's an organized gang.
And
Think
as
about the
far as
mob.
extortion, we're talking about paying for protection.
Right. You see
Yeah.
things like that, and so the things that they're doing in Haiti don't add up to what criminal gangs do. You see.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they're and I think I told you about this before when I was in Nigeria, and I saw this that when there was a warlord, gang leader that was going around to different villages, and they were killing people left and right, burned down the village, everything. But ultimately, the state government, the governor's office, was behind this because this guy was on their payroll, right? So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing I'm seeing the same thing here in Haiti as I'm seeing in Nigeria. Okay,
Okay.
a lot of these gangs are just going around killing people indiscriminately for no reason. It serves no purpose for a criminal gang just to go around killing people.
It's not
It's
making them any money. Somebody's paying them to eliminate people.
right. But furthermore, as I told you this before, for the instability to continue, you have to do things like that.
Yeah.
You see? So you create that perfect storm, right?
Okay.
You create that perfect storm. Go ahead.
Is Jimmy Barbecue Sarazat, is he wanting to move away from that, or is he a primary participant in that?
Okay, so he's not really calling himself a gang leader. Okay, he's more or less
Okay.
calling himself a revolutionary.
Okay. Wise move.
Right, right. He's calling himself a revolutionary. So because he's a revolutionary, and I always make this correlation. Revolutionaries, those are guerrilla fighters because
Right.
they're the community. All right. So basically, Jimmy Cherazet is actually a guerrilla. He's a
Okay.
guerrilla. He would be the guerrilla leader.
All right.
Okay, and
Okay.
he's talking about overthrowing the government. That's what
Uh,
insurgencies are about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Basically
so
a coup, but not necessarily a military coup,
right,
which
not
is what
necessarily
we
normally see, but he is by far. He's talking about insurgency, overthrowing the government. So that right there lets me know, okay, that's guerrilla, and that's what the guerrillas do. They overthrow governments, insurgencies, things like that. Unlike the rest of um, the gangs, which could easily be run by, should we say, oligarchs who are the elites,
yeah,
right? And so, they might be getting money from the prime minister of Haiti. I'm not saying that's what it is, but for
you
something like
can't
this
say
to
that's
occur,
what it isn't either.
right? But for something like this to occur, they have, like I said, they have to have that perfect storm. They have to create that instability to go to the UN and say, look, we need help here. Okay.
Hmm.
And if UN, they got the resolution, they got the Kenyan police to come assist. And guess what? All that's going to go through. It's gone through, and now they're going to be getting money. You see,
Yeah, and we're giving $100 million.
to the Kenyans, right?
Right.
So the international community is going to be dumping a whole lot of money to, into that, to what's going on. So, like I told
Yeah.
you before, everyone's going to dig their hand into that pot and grab that money. It's just like Ukraine. It's the
Right.
same thing. There's a crisis. That's free money. So you think they're
Yeah,
so like
and we're saying now we're supposedly we want you to stop the corruption, or we're not going to send you any more money. The
right?
corruption
That's
has been going on the whole time. Um, we talk about this. People, it's sometimes I feel like we repeat ourselves a lot, Chris, but we have to because the same shit's going on in different places.
of course. So that I mean, the whole thing about it is once you see patterns of how like criminal gangs act and how insurgencies start, then you can start to see the anomalies, the differences. And I've been doing this for some time, so
Hmm.
I can tell them like, all right, wait, this doesn't add up,
Right.
from my experience, and that's why I'm kind of like, all right, someone's behind this, this whole Haiti thing. It just seems like a really good plan,
Yeah.
because most people would be like, oh, this is horrible. The gangs are doing this, but if you really knew like what criminal gangs did, you'd be like, they don't do that.
Right.
So that's how I know it's an anomaly. And then now I know that someone's behind it, and it's
Yeah,
all
there's
about
no money in
economics.
randomly killing somebody. The
No,
only money is
well,
when somebody's paying you to kill somebody.
right. So I
You make
mean,
much more money robbing them over and over and over.
right. So I mean, the kidnap. So I was, a lot of people have said um, about how the gangs get their money, and they say it's through kidnapping. I'm just like, there aren't that many people in Haiti to kidnap that have that
Right.
type of money. You see, so
Hmm.
you get your money through other sources as well. It's not just kidnapping.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they want to BS all of you, but you can't BS me because this is
Right.
what I do.
Right.
So
And that's why what we're doing on here is so valuable because people are getting to hear something that they normally don't.
right, right. So and then the Kenyans are going to be going in there, and you're going to have other countries going in. Oh, but even before I get into that, there was this show, and they were talking about U.S. troops being there, and Biden specifically said there will be no U.S. troops involved in all of this, right?
Right.
Well, anyway, on this show, they're talking about how the U.S. troops, they say the special forces is already on the ground and they're training and they're going to be assisting, you know, um, the Haitian police tactical teams going out and looking for Jimmy Barbecue Shares A, and they're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm sitting there listening to them like, well, I mean, you have to
Yeah.
understand. You have to understand that. I mean, SF guys are already at the embassies, So it's not like
Right.
they're already on the ground. At every embassy,
Yeah.
you have like the defense attaché, and with the defense attaché, you have Office of Security Cooperation, and with that comes, you have your military, you can have your soft units they're going to be there at the embassy anyway, regardless. So the guys up there saying, well, SF teams are already on the ground. I'm like, they've been there. They're at the embassy. That's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But they were talking about train device and assist missions. They're going to go out with them, and Biden said there will be no U.S. troops involved. Don't you know that whole show came down? It was on for like a day, and after that was taken down.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised we don't get. And no, I'm not even going to say that. Let's keep moving on. I don't want to trigger anything. Um, Next thing on the list, Russia is missing um, nuclear material and nuclear warheads.
You're missing.
Okay, missing, quote unquote.
Well,
Up to 100, up to
well,
100.
nuclear warheads and don't go missing. That just
Yeah.
there's accountability for everything that's there, right? Especially nuclear warheads. So obviously someone's stolen them, right?
Um. Okay. Here's what I'm hearing from the underground. The nukes have been given to North Korea, so now we do not know how big an arsenal North Korea has. The what is it? The um, People's Republic of North Korea. Is that it? PNRK.
Yes,
Some
yes, you're correct.
okay, and then the missing enriched uranium was part of the deal with Iran to get the drones.
Oh, all right, so see, I was totally unaware of that, especially the trade for uranium for drones, huh? Um,
That's the underground word.
okay, well that kind of makes sense, right?
It
Um,
kind of does. I mean, when I it's like spy novel stuff, but then it's like okay, but it's real world too. All of a sudden,
right.
all of
So
a sudden, Iran's announcing that we have a super weapon that will destroy all of Israel. Well, where did the material come from? They've been enriching some, but not
yeah,
enough for some kind of mega bomb.
well, I think Iran has multiple um, missiles.
Yeah,
It's not just. I don't think it's just one. I think
I
they
know,
might
but
have.
they've got one they've specifically built to destroy Israel.
Right. Well, I I really don't think that that's going to happen. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, Iran's talking a little bit too much. About here's the thing: when people keep talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and nothing ever materializes, you're just blowing smoke. You know,
Hmm.
up someone's wazoo. And I really don't think Israel's even that. Israel would like just pound Iran to the ground. I'm totally serious. Israel's
Awesome.
small, but
But
Israel does not play around at all. They do not.
no, they've been bombing Damascus, Syria, the airport there, and um, bombing all kinds of supply lines of
Yeah.
Iranian arms trying to get into Hezbollah, and
Oh yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So, if this is how I think. If Iran was really going to do something, they wouldn't be saying anything at all. They'd be hush. Everything would be quiet.
okay.
You don't have to advertise. Well, we have this and we're going to do this, and then you don't do anything. It's just like you just do. You
And
see, you
Iran's not
just do.
really known for doing that, for being blusterous.
No,
They're they're
no,
they're kind of known for being sneaky.
right. So for them to and see if they're known for being sneaky, and you start coming out and saying we're going to do this, 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 and this, that's once again you just triggered. You just said what the baseline was for them being sneaky, right?
Hmm.
Now they're coming out and saying we're going to do this, this, this. That's not sneakiness. at
Right.
all. So when you do that, it's kind of like, well, I don't believe you because you know
Yeah.
because your baseline tells me that you've been sneaky for such a long time. Why are you switching up now? So I think that's just they're just blowing smoke. I really do.
Okay. The last three things on the list here um, are fairly large in my opinion. Um, Putin is going to go visit Z in China, and is I know China, or we suspect, allegedly, China is fronting a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of armaments to Russia. Is is China controlling Russia in this BRICS alignment? Is China the top dog?
I would have to say yes.
Okay.
China is. That's just my. I'm not sure, but I know Russia doesn't have quite as much money as China does.
Okay.
So I think China is kind of like pulling the strings for a lot of this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because
Um,
I've been
that
saying that. Go ahead.
no, yeah, I just think that China is pulling the strings on a lot of this. And for the life of me, when we talked about this whole Russia, um, the whole Russia Ukraine and China Taiwan thing, and and I kind of go back to that because we talked about the economics behind it. You see,
Hmm.
and how the United States keeps dumping money into Ukraine. Okay. Um, what I'm trying to really figure out here is with China getting ready to do what they're going to do to Taiwan, how that really correlates. I mean, it does because they're fighting on two fronts. So we're going to be dumping money into both, into Taiwan and into Ukraine, and how they're really draining us economically, and that's the whole plan for them
Right.
to drain us economically. So like on those two fronts, okay, those two are aligned, but ultimately it's China that's really pulling the strings.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um, Yesterday, Russia, in preparing for a mass nuclear attack, did a nationwide drill. Um, my thinking is if they're doing a nationwide drill, it's because they may do something that might warrant, in the eyes of NATO, a massive attack. Um, or is it propaganda to the Russian people saying, we're preparing because we expect NATO to attack at any time, to justify them attacking NATO before NATO attacks them?
And I think you're correct on that, right? You said they just had a pretty much the same test that we had today, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're mimicking each other,
Yeah.
and so it's like, okay, Russia's sitting up there saying, yeah, they're going to attack us or whatever, but in all actuality, might be Russia attacking NATO and Ukraine. So whoever puts something like that out first, normally the opposite occurs.
Okay.
So
All right. Second part of that, if the word was out, if President Joe Biden gets the phone call that there are incoming missiles and he's got 8 minutes to decide whether to launch all of our missiles or a lot of our ICBMs are going to be taken out, would Biden pull the trigger?
I hope so. He better. I can't really see that. You're causing me to speculate on what he
Yeah,
would do.
this is conspiracy kind of stuff here at the very
Right,
end.
right, right. You're causing me to speculate, but I would seriously hope, you know, that he would, hey, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and launch them. They're going to take our people out. We're going to take theirs out. So, but ultimately, no one wins in that. No one wins in a nuclear war.
Right.
It just,
Right.
it's pointless. So,
Mad.
yeah,
Mutually assured destruction.
of course.
Okay, the final thing, and this is like a three-part thing. The Speaker of the House was taken out yesterday, something that has never happened in the history of the United States. Um, I totally expected to go live last night because I thought, man, there's going to be tons of content. They're going to have meetings. They're going to be starting to take votes, and they're going to want to replace the speaker so that government can proceed. Instead, they take a 1 week break to start thinking about things and go on vacation. Um, and there's a movement to make Trump Speaker
Yep.
of the House.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, I kind of thought that you're going to say something like that. So, here's what could happen. And see, they're starting impeachment proceedings or trying to get
Right,
the current president impeached, right?
right.
So let's
I'm
just say
thinking
it.
I'm gonna start a new term. There are hot coups and there are cold coups, and I think they're attempting a cold coup, or
Right,
at least laying the foundation for such.
right. So if let's say President Biden were to get impeached, all right, and so he's out, then you bring in the Vice President Kamala Harris, and then she'll become president. And for some reason, they'll trump up something on her, and they'll get her removed. Okay, and then who's third in line? It'll be the Speaker of the House, which will be
Yeah,
Donald Trump. So now what? Now he's backing on. Now he's back in the presidency. There's nothing anyone can do, right?
right. Without a single vote being cast.
Exactly. So
And
that's
and and the blueprint to this is Hitler and the night of the broken glass, um, and him being basically installed as chancellor without anyone ever voting for anything.
so you're making that correlation. Yeah. All
Hey,
right.
I'm just
Um,
saying,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
something to think about.
Right. 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 So a lot of
It's
people are going to be
crazy.
yeah, a lot of people will be like thrilled about that, but then a lot of people will not be, thrilled
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
but then, at the same time, you gotta be careful with that because that could trigger um, different people's different ethnic groups or different political parties actually going at it
Yeah.
because of all right, you're not duly elected as a president of the United States. We're not considering you to be a legitimate president. See, same thing that's
Mhm.
going on down there in Haiti. The prime minister
Yeah.
is not duly elected. You know, I
Same
mean,
thing that's going on in Niger and in
right,
Nigeria and is going on
right.
all over the place, and coups happening all around the world. I think it's kinda ignorant and arrogant of us to think it couldn't happen here, especially
Oh,
since Trump's leading in the presidential race at the moment. They're supporting him for president. Why wouldn't they support him for speaker?
exactly. So, like you said, if he's leading right now in the polls for the Republican leads president, then of course they would back him for Speaker of the House. It only makes sense, with him going through all the stuff that he's going through right now.
Yeah.
To have him as Speaker of the House, so the Republicans can do what they want to do to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, and then they just slide him in and up back in.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy to think about, but we gotta think about it.
Yeah, because that's a very realistic thing.
Absolutely. Okay. You be back with us next Wednesday?
I certainly will.
Okay. I'll be doing the pre-show next Wednesday more than likely, so it won't, but we'll do the same kind of thing about a half an hour, 9 to 9:30 ish. And
Okay.
thank you for your time as always, man.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show, Barry. I love coming on here.
I love having you on here. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay, you take care. Have a good night.
All right. That's our friend Chris. uh, thank you guys. A informative stuff that you're not going to hear in a lot of places, maybe nowhere else. Um, both of us have some pretty good connections. Both of us, we talk back and forth with each other through the week, keep each other informed on things. And I think we got some pretty good insight, honestly. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, you know. So, thank you all for being here. It's been a hectic week so far, and we're only halfway through. Um, and it's 9:30, and I'd like to have some fun. I'd like to have some, some chill. So I may be back on at 11. It's really nice outside. I may just take my phone and do like a impromptu live around 11 o'clock just to give people a place to chat and to answer some questions if anybody has any. Um, so look for that possibly coming up here. If not, I'm going to be live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. It is a festival here in my hometown, my current residence, and we got live music coming up tomorrow night, coming up Friday night, coming up Saturday night, as well as all kinds of other things. I'll probably be live tomorrow afternoon. I go up and check out the setup before they open things up, a little behind the scenes stuff. So look for all of those for sure, and possibly coming back on at 11 o'clock, maybe 11ish, depending. If there are a lot of other people live streaming at that time, I won't be back on. If nothing's going on, again, I just need to kind of chill, loosen up, lighten up, and I enjoy doing that online and with an open chat. So that may be a possibility coming up. Otherwise, thank you all so very much for being here. Um, love y'all. Love y'all like chocolate chip cookies. You know that to be a fact. Wish you all peace, positive vibrations. The chocolate chip cookie thing there. All right. Namaste. Shalom. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Blessings be upon you, and live long and prosper. Again, peace. We'll see you next time around, maybe even a little bit later on tonight.